right, everybody. Welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is your host, Austin. It is a Thursday evening now. A nice one, and an especially special one for the man in the booth with me here. To my left and to your right on the screen. He actually will have already been... Say it, Mike. What are you?
I'm a retired man.
He's
Feeling
a retired
good,
man.
guys.
So he'll officially...
I'm flying.
Yes, sir. He'll be retired officially when the Dead Poet Society is coming out. So we didn't cover it then, but we're going to cover it now. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you,
well
guys.
done.
Hey, congrats, man. How's it feel? Let's get your immediate thoughts.
Ooh, it's surreal, guys. It's really surreal. It was one of those things all day long, all week long. I've probably worked harder than ever just to try to get everybody up to snuff, get them ready for when I do leave. And man, oh man, it was nice. The team really put on a great little party for me today, and I really appreciate it from all of them.
So you didn't burn any bridges on the way out? Flip
No,
birds?
no.
Flip birds by every office you went by?
No, I did not. No, sir.
Well, good
Hey,
for you,
well
Mike.
done, man. We're proud of you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
On to the next, huh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Here we are.
This is my gig.
There it is.
This
the
is
next
what I do,
career has
guys.
begun. I
That's
feel like a new
amazing.
life has begun for me.
So when does that happen for us, Austin?
Well, as soon as we get some more people listening to this podcast, I think.
Well,
So, if
come
you're at
on,
home
guys.
listening,
Start getting
guys, and you're-
interesting. I can't just carry us the whole show.
we're compelling as
Hey.
fuck. Believe us.
Golly.
Hey, Austin, 2 minutes.
Yeah, he blew it again.
Hey,
Hey, we're at 3, but I think we
Austin,
get a
let
little
him
bit-
know. Let him know what movie we're reviewing today. No, actually, Dad, you do it. This is your movie.
Yeah, and it's his movie.
Absolutely, guys. This is A River Runs Through It, 1992.
You say a nap runs through it?
Hey, there might be a nap. Hey, come on now.
Ugh.
Hey, this was a
I'm
good
just
one.
messing with you.
This, guys, I love the setting. It's in the 1920s. You know, times were tough. The characters in this, you know, we talk about. I mean, and this is based off of a true story.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is a
That
book.
I didn't know. I didn't even know that until after the movie, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
The story by the same
After I
name,
had seen it.
Norman Maclean. It's semi-autobiographical, so it's inspired by a lot of true events. I think it's a story. You know, there's some elements of fiction to it, but I think a lot of the core themes are brought by real life events, and the main one being, you know, a murder of a family member that kind of set this in motion. You know, maybe if that doesn't happen, this book never gets written, and I think that's a pretty likely thing, honestly. But this is starring Brad Pitt, early young Brad Pitt.
28 years old, Austin.
Wow, 28 years old. I did some.
Crazy.
I didn't know so much about Brad Pitt's kind of his backstory, but he went to like undergrad and everything, and I think he was doing journalism at Missouri. And within
Wow.
like a few weeks left
Oh
of
God,
school,
what a terrible major. Terrible major. Do we know anybody that went into journalism, guys?
well, the two of us.
Hey, we know 2 of them.
Mine's just a minor though, so yeah, only halfway for me. But anyways, he was always kind of, he said, transported to a new world with movies, and he was getting to the end near graduation and just felt a little unsettled, I think, and had a stirring in him. And I don't think he got his degree. Like, I think he left
wow.
with weeks left and headed out west.
Austin,
to
I wonder
Hollywood.
if that hurt him.
Wow.
I wonder if
I
that.
think he did all right.
Yeah, I don't know if he paid for that one.
Yeah. Well, we're not all as fortunate to look as
They
damn
might have
good as
paid
Brad
him,
Pitt.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's for sure. But Craig Sheffer as well, who's actually, is it Sheffer or how do you
I think it's Shepard.
Sheffer? So he's actually the lead in this. You know, you might not expect that from the names and what turned out and how history is.
He was one of the big stars of some kind of Wonderful, if you remember that one back in the 80s.
Yep.
I mean, this guy was an up and comer. He was in the movie The Program, if you remember that. That was James Caan, guys. You know, Omar Epps was in that one. So Craig Schiffer was kind of the lead in that one as well. And, you know, I think it was one of those where they really thought he was going to be, you know, a superstar. They really did.
Yeah, and
and guys, you know, I'm going to say this. The guy does one hell of a job in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
he's so believable as Norman.
I don't think you question it unless you know what kind of came next. And obviously, we literally just got off of watching F1, and I mean, I'll be the first to admit, watching F1, that made me an even bigger Brad Pitt fan. I don't know if I've always respected the guy, but I think it made me a real fan watching that movie, to be honest. And, you know, now watching A River Runs Through It, I think it was so easy to be like, this is great, you know, seeing him kind of at the beginning of his career. But old Norman, his character in the movie, Craig's character in the movie, he does a damn fine job, I think.
Sure does.
No,
and then
no
you
doubt.
can't fail to mention Tom Skerritt. I'd say those are the three kind of main characters in this one.
Griffin, do you remember the father? You know, he was Viper in Top Gun. Do you remember that?
You know, I don't know if I do, to be honest with you.
I'm
looking at him right now.
Guys, I mean, he was such a badass in Viper.
Well, he did a great job in the movie, too.
Oh, yeah. The scenes that I think are the most powerful, he's involved. Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, what would you even say about, we're kind of just going a little willy-nilly, but like, I don't know, it kind of is an interesting story, I think, because what is like the main idea going on? Is it just family, would you guys say?
I would say.
Is that kind of the message?
Yeah, let's jump to the very end of this here and get the main point of the movie. If I had to say anything, it's familial love and that unconditional love, despite, you know, what, you know, another member of the family may be doing. You know, every family has their firebrand, their shit stirrer, you know, the one who's just a little untamed and can't.
The black sheep.
Yeah, I mean it exists, and you know, I think that's the ultimate thing. And you know what, there's a part of it too, because they're kind of saying like you got to love them, but also they're kind of saying like you can't change them. I get that sentiment, but at the same time, I would like to believe that that's not like entirely true per se. But I think it leans more into just the love element. Regardless, you know, you can try and maybe you succeed, maybe you don't, but regardless.
Well, what's it say at the end of the movie, Dad? I'll give you the opportunity to pull that quote out. I think that sums it up pretty perfectly.
This is it, guys. Every time I hear this, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll sit there and I've got tears just pouring out of my eyes.
Is it because Robert Redford narrates it?
Yeah, let's mention Robert Redford.
Guys, I'm going to talk about Robert Redford. Yes, he just does a fabulous job in this. But let me read this to you. Eventually, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it. The river was cut by the world's great flood and runs over rocks from the basement of time. On some of those rocks are timeless raindrops. Under the rocks are the words, and some of the words are theirs, and I'm haunted by waters. Guys, every single time I hear that, and I can't do it justice. I'm not Robert Redford, obviously. The way he does it, and you all were talking about, what's this movie about? Guys, this is about, to me, now that I'm 60, now that I'm retired.
There you are.
It's about growing old, and you know you're going to lose things in life. To me, that's what it was about to me. And you see Norman at the end, and I don't know about you guys, but if that doesn't tear you up just to see his old withered hands and he's tying that fly onto the line, come on, guys. You know, you all kind of picked at me a little bit about this movie. That had to kind of hit your heart a little bit. Let
me get this out in the open here. Okay,
there we
guys?
go. Come on, bring it.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. I am not a big fan of this movie. I am not. But there are parts that are good. This is an incredibly technically it's a very technically sound movie. It's not a bad movie. It's well shot, obviously.
Look at my dad's face right now. He looks like he wants to pounce on you.
That's fine. He's got to hold it in. But it's very technically sound. It's shot. It's beautiful. It won Best Cinematography at the Oscars. No shit.
That's awesome.
It got nominated for Best Score. No shit. It was great in those aspects. I think the intro is really strong. I think the outro is really strong. And in those moments, it really leans into the book. I'm going to say this, and this is a hot take, and maybe I don't fully believe it, but I'm going to say this movie maybe didn't need to be made. I bet this book is brilliant. I bet this is an amazing book. I bet it's an amazing read. And as someone who does really take to the movie, I think you should read the book. I think you would just absolutely love it. That, and then the fishing scenes. So the intro and the outro, I think, are really, really good. I think the fishing scenes are really, really good. I think a lot of the middle, I'm just kind of not into so much. They're fine and they're good enough. The characters are decent enough, but there's not a lot of friction. Maybe there's not a lot of conflict. I literally, at some point, it was probably about an hour and like a half into the movie, I had to pause it and be like, how much is left in this movie? Because I don't know when like the fucking thing's going to happen. Like when is it going to happen? When is there going to be that turn? Like, I didn't know if, when they're with, the brother, I didn't know if they were going to somehow kill that guy. Like they were going to get into some kind of discrepancy or argument and end up killing the brother. I didn't know, man. I was like,
what the hell is Austin talking about?
I just wait for something big to happen. It never happened.
The thing is, though, I couldn't say I like really agree. I will say, like, I will give it to you. I do think that maybe, I don't know if I would call it a pacing situation, but it was just a lot of like kind of everyday occurrences and kind of just telling this story in a kind of,
it's a character movie.
In a slower, it's a character movie. But I thought it was kind of just following Norman and like his whereabouts and how he came to be the man that he was at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it wasn't without friction. I think there were like a lot of questions and, you know, he's meeting the girl. He just got back into his hometown. Well, a big thing I was thinking about, I just kind of put myself in his shoes. Like, can you imagine being in that era and going off to Dartmouth College from where you're living in Missoula, Montana, your whole life?
Yeah.
And what did he say? He shipped out for basically 6 years.
Yeah.
And then just came back to his family. Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, like that. And there was a moment in the movie, too, where at the beginning, like you said, when it's showing him and his brother just growing up and kind of basically living outdoors as much as they could, just being boys growing up by the river and all of that. I think he said, like, it was the most wild. What did he say? It was the land of the most, like, possibilities he had ever encountered. Like, that land was so just untapped and had so much potential. I just thought that was kind of a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I think as an ode to nature, it feels like a book. You can tell. If you didn't know going into it that it was a book, you would still think it. And I think that's where it's, you know, that intro scene, like I said, is really good. When you're getting the narration from Robert Redford, you're seeing the boys grow up. You're getting introduced to this life that they have. One of the best quotes is what is it? Shit. In our family, there was no clear line between religion and fly fishing. That's one of the earliest quotes in the movie, and I think that's really great. Casting to the metronome, teaching them how to fish. Those are the best parts of it for me. Like I said, just when it gets to the middle, it's fine. It's fine, but like, I watched this movie 3 times over the course of...
You watched it 3 times?
Like, had it on, watched it the first time intently, and then just to have it on and be around it and kind of experience
that might mean he didn't watch it at all. You realize that, right?
That's
incorrect.
Griffin, you know what? And I gosh, it's tough to defend him. But when I watched The Good Guys, I watched it 3 times.
The
Basically,
Nice Guys.
oh, good guy. hey, Griff, that's how much I thought of it. Okay. Okay, The Nice Guys. I'd kind of fall off. I'd wake up. I'm like, oh my God, I just missed 30, 40 minutes. I got to rewind it. Then I'd go back. I'd watch it again. That's probably what you were doing. It is a little slow, Austin. You got to, my take is, guys, this is the 1920s. Life wasn't real exciting back then.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
come on.
It was. They were doing like the old like shack bars and stuff like that.
Guys,
they were going crazy.
You had a couple. You had these 2 young men. Think about this. They're living in a town where, what were they doing, Austin? What was it? Like a mill where they cut wood, right? Is that what the?
Well, they did like the lumber.
So I mean, think about it. You got a preacher with 2 sons he is pushing his kids to be better and to get an education and to go off and do great things. Okay. And again, everything with him was with John Maclean was the Reverend. He was trying to get his boys. Here we got religion, we've got fly fishing, and then we've got life. Everything was a story with him. And, again, it's not real exciting times that Brad Pitt had a serious issue in this movie. He was a gambling man. And, you talk about you can't change people, Austin. In a lot of cases, you are what you are. Look at you 2 assholes. I mean, there's things that you all do. You all will never change. I mean, we could sit here and argue all night long, and I could tell you, hey, here's weaknesses in both of you. You all could do the same thing with me. In your mind, it's not. It may not be a weakness. You disagree with me. As you get stronger when you do kind of look within. Mm-hmm. And Brad Pitt's character, his brother Norman, was trying to tell him, hey, man, you don't have to do this. He even said, I'll give you money. You don't need to do this. He says in one of the scenes, hey, I'm going to marry Jessie. And man, we would love for you to come to Chicago with us. That was a powerful scene. And Brad Pitt, my God, I mean, if you don't fall in love with him when he turns around with that, come on, guys, he's got a beautiful smile. And he just looks at you and he said, never leaving Montana, brother. And he just kind of walks out and he starts fishing. And you just go, did that mean that he knew that there was potential? He's going to get by the mob or whatever he was in on, or did he really love Montana that much? We could debate that all night long, but I agree with Austin. It is a little slow. Well, I agree with you.
I think there's parts that they missed maybe that could have done the movie well. I think we could have seen more of Norm in Chicago. Do we see him at all in Chicago?
No,
we
don't.
Do we really see
they do flashbacks?
Do we see any bit of like Brad Pitt, Paul, and like in the actual scenes where he got into this debt? I think they could have done something a little more. We see him go to Lolo's that one night, but that's a very brief encounter. So I think there's little parts where they tell you he's in all this debt, but you don't necessarily see it and experience it. Where I think a book would probably be
and
better.
Austin, I'm sure that in the book, I'm sure they pushed it a little bit harder where he's with the young lady, the young Indian woman. That was like probably taboo back then. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously it was, because they're like, hey, you can't bring her in here.
Oh yeah.
So I understand. It was a little.
I got a question for you, Mike. I got 2.
Fire away, because I'd love to hear.
We haven't, for one thing, done your moment in time, so I'd like to hear about you in '92. I think we did a movie kind of really recently to that era.
We did.
So maybe you covered that, but I am also curious. Neither Griffin nor I have brothers. We like to think of ourselves as brothers to a degree, but we did not have brothers. But how much of that do you think plays into just your natural, I'm not going to say want, but like your just natural attraction to the movie per se? And, I don't want to overstep or anything here, but I think there's maybe some similarities between, you and your brother to a degree,
absolutely. And guys, I thought about that as well. You guys don't have a brother, but you guys are probably closer than my brother and I. My brother and I, we were, let's call it 4 years apart. So that's really just like Griffin, you and Riley. It's when you're 4 years apart, that's a big gap.
Were you guys not like hanging out?
We were not super
groups,
close,
really?
but my brother was one, just like sports. My brother was one that was bold enough to get in there and he would try to play with us. And it made him probably one of the better players at his age when he played. My brother played baseball. That was his thing. But maybe that's a lot of this with me is having a brother, having that, we fought all the time.
Yeah.
And I see me being Norman and I see, my brother being Paul.
Yeah.
I do see that. Yeah. And there's things that, I would love to see my brother do a little different, but you all know my brother. You think Paul's hard-headed? Hell, my brother's more hard-headed than Paul.
It's definitely something that I was considering. Wonder if that was any bit of it.
And I think that does play into why I love this movie.
And me saying that I didn't love the movie or really like it even, I thought it was fine. I rated it smack dab in the middle. 5 out of 5 stars. I gave it a 2.5. It's beautiful.
2.5.
It's beautiful. I can watch it. But like I said, I don't think it's one I'm going to really come back to too much for many reasons. But I get the sentiment. I can understand someone really taken to this movie. I do, because it does things really well. And we've barely talked about, the father. I mean, shit, that is the best element, the core element, this father and his sons, the relationship that they have and the connection that they both have, or they all have through fishing, and that's where I really enjoyed it and really loved it.
Yeah. Well, and I think something else, like, again, the reason we brought up that kind of familial love theme, family, is because I really do think a lot of the movie just centers around exploring how different personalities interact. Yeah. And I think it's kind of this funny thing where we all understand that dynamic of maybe the older sibling or just the older person in a relationship of any kind, and, how that affects the younger sibling, and the way that this one played out, as a lot of times it does, that older sibling is the one who is a bit more responsible, maybe, by standard means, and that younger one is the one with the untapped potential, the just boisterous, whatever you want to say, energy, possibility. I mean, I even could see a bit of that dynamic between myself and you, Austin. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing. I'm not, you know what I mean, but I've
had my wilder times. There was I've had times when I was a bit more, call to the void, send it, live fast. But I
think it's
in my age.
It kind of has that kind of better to burn out than to fade away energy. I think that's a quote from Neil Young, but of course, kind of Kurt Cobain maybe made it even more famous. But you kind of get a sense for that. And I mean, let's just say it now. This is one of the best scenes of the whole movie, when at the very end of the movie, we see Paul, and he's a master. He is a master fly fisherman. He's developed his own technique for fly fishing.
A rhythm all his own.
You see his father and his brother Norman in literal awe watching him fish. And it's this amazing thing, because you're thinking, this is the guy with the gambling problem. This is the guy in
drinking problem.
With the drinking problem. This is this guy with all these issues, and look how beautiful he is.
Yep.
And how much of a master he is at this thing that we all bond over. I mean, they were just struck by it. And he catches this huge fish. Is it trout that they're catching?
Rainbow trout, I believe.
This huge fish. And Norman even said, well, I guess it's Norman as an older man says he was a god in that moment.
Let me do this here, Griff.
Yeah.
So
you take it.
In 1992, the Chicago Bulls, my Chicago Bulls, won a championship with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has a statue, of course, outside of the United Center. And guess what quote is on that statue?
What is it?
At that moment, I knew, surely and clearly, that I was witnessing perfection. He stood before us, suspended above the earth, free from all its laws like a work of art. And I knew, just as surely and clearly, that life is not a work of art, and that the moment could not last. That's on the statue. How about that?
And Austin,
1992.
and you go, why do you like this movie so much? There it is. I mean, there's so many quotes. And again, you got Robert Redford narrating that. It just, man, it hits you right in the heart.
Well, and we all know that.
It hits you in the heart.
We all know that feeling too, I think. Everyone knows that moment of just, oh my God, because let's admit it, guys, a lot of life is just waiting for the next thing to happen, waiting for that moment to come, that excitement. Same thing, not to bring it back to F1 again, but our boy Sonny riding down the track and he's laser focused. Everything else cuts out. We all wait for that moment and we know what it is. And when it happens, it kind of takes your breath away. And I think that's what happened. What is it? Is it the Blackfoot River?
Yes.
Yep. I think that's what happened on the Blackfoot River in that moment. But it's so amazing because it's like, you know that this guy doesn't have a whole lot of time. You know that, and you even see it in a couple moments when Norman's talking about his future. I think you can tell that Paul's like, that's not waiting for me. That's not coming for me, but he had something else that you can't teach. He just had the spark. He had that real beauty.
Well,
that
Griffin, name one thing that Paul was not good at in the movie.
Exactly. And not to talk on you, Austin, but I feel like that kind of represents you in a lot of ways.
I mean,
Austin, grew up this tremendous athlete.
Austin, Paul is you. Everything you touched, you were good at. I mean, this guy, you see him, hey, Dad, let me grab. He grabs the horseshoes. Oh, ringer.
Well, and the mom,
ringer.
He knows.
Don't
he
give
knows
it up to
everyone
Reverend.
loves the guy.
Reverend had
one
it too,
didn't he?
He had the touch.
I mean, the mom, he just had a way. His mom, she adored him. She adored him.
One of my biggest gripes of the movie, I think Mrs. Maclean is incredibly underdeveloped as a character. I don't think they give her nearly enough in this.
They really don't, Austin.
I don't think she gets
and Austin, I'll say this. I don't think they gave Jessie enough screen time either. I mean, I was crazy about her. I remember after this movie, I went, wow, she's going to do great things. I just thought she was just a cutie, and she just had this, there was a, that sparkle in her eye. She just had this little spark about her that you went, wow.
This is a little bit about him. I think that is a cool thing where throughout the movie, they kind of show it through pictures. I think it has a really good
black and white
kind of feel and vibe to it that, dates it and feels authentic in a way because they wouldn't have had it on video, right? They would have had pictures of it. I think that's kind of it is an interesting way to tell the story.
And maybe not this isn't a justification for the female characters not being as developed, such as their mom and such as Jessie, but I think something that kind of cracked me up, again, back in that era, you have to imagine things were just way simpler.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Norman's at this dance and he sees her and he approaches her and then it's, they start chatting or whatever. It was so simple. So, like, I know we're like, oh, she wasn't very developed, but it's almost like, man, like, I don't know if there was a whole lot of, again, like, I'm not saying anything about personalities or whatever, but I think it was kind of just this comical little look into maybe what that era would have been like in terms of how a romance developed. I mean, it was kind of just he called her on the phone and said, let's meet up.
Well,
and then he's like, I don't want to leave you.
I was fine with Jessie's character. I just thought the mom really didn't get a ton. Like, she's a bit suppressed. Literally in the fight, she falls down, that kind of thing. I guess is that her biggest point. She tries to say something to Paul, and then literally kind of gets dismissed.
Oh yeah.
She tries to say, and you want her to say something, but I really what she lends to it is just like you get that she loves her sons. That's pretty much it. There's not a ton to her story.
You can tell that they were a tight family, of course, and I mean, I thought what was cool was at the beginning, they call him the Reverend.
They call him Preach.
Not Norman, the father.
Oh, the Reverend.
See, the Reverend. They, I thought it was kind of interesting. They're showing a young Paul not eating oatmeal. Yeah. And, they're like, you're not going to get up from this table. We're not going to finish grace until you eat this. And of course, him being stubborn, developing his character early, he doesn't do it. Mm-hmm. And I was just waiting for the Reverend to haul off on him or something. Cause it was the 1920 or whatever era it would have been. It might've been before the 20s. Yeah. And he did not do that. And I was like,
he didn't beat that ass.
I was like, back in that era, I'm sure that was kind of unusual that he
food
was
wasn't
that kind of patient.
I mean, this is like Great Depression era.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So food was not in surplus by any means.
Speaking of, am I the only one who, when Norman's making that big ham sandwich,
that was a thick
Paul
sandwich.
Doesn't that look great? I thought that meat on there looked damn good, man. And Paul's all excited. He's like, let's throw some sardines on there for you, man. And of course he doesn't want them. It starts the big fight, but shoot, I was eyeing that sandwich. I thought it looked pretty dang good myself. I'd have eaten the sardines.
Yeah, my note there was Norman really doesn't want sardines. Let's get into our favorite scenes, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
We probably ran a little forward with the getting into it, so we've talked through a lot about them, but we can just give our scenes and let's
what you got, Dad?
What you got, Mikey?
I've got 4 scenes that I love.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Buckle up.
I love, we've talked about it, the scene, A Rhythm All His Own. Just seeing how, Brad Pitt.
I think that's just a really cool thought too. Because they were trained. They were trained to the metronome. This is how you do it. But
what they call it, a 4-count? A 4-count?
He's just so in tuned, like Sonny with the racetrack, that he does it his own way. He does it his way.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra,
he does, Austin. And the thing is again, it's like Austin said with the bowl of oatmeal that he wouldn't eat it. He was stubborn enough to go, you know what? I'll go against my father.
Yeah.
And, of course, Norman was trying to.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned young
he
Joseph
was enough
Gordon-Levitt. Yeah. This is his first acting gig.
I can tell you this. Those boys were the cutest little boys. You had to, they kind of stole the beginning of the movie.
Like I said, that's one of my favorite parts of the movie is the intro. I do really enjoy
guys,
that element.
The other scene that I liked was, I didn't like it, but I did like the scene. It was, Paul's death when Norman goes to the police station and his father looks at him. And I want to get your all's take on this. And he said, Dad says, is there anything else you can tell me? Norman says, nearly all the bones in his hands were broken. And his father says, which hand? And Norman says, his right hand. And there's
true. That's a true fact, by the way.
And yes. And there was something in the Reverend's eyes, like my boy was a fighter and he wasn't going to put up with anything.
You don't think he'd throw lefts too? I was trying to wonder what I was almost. I get that part.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Hey, there was no way he wasn't going to fight back, and he wanted to know that his boy fought back because that was Paul.
What else?
I'm telling you what, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. That just tears me up.
What else did he want to know though? Because he says that he always said to me that I wasn't telling him everything. What else do you? And what was he withholding? You think the gambling problem? Was that it? Was he keeping him from that?
I think with one of those things, and not to say that I've experienced that, but I'm sure it's such a shock and it's so just heart-wrenching that you just want to squeeze every bit out of it that you can to try to wrap your head around it, which you can't do. I think it kind of just speaks to that kind of feeling of futility that you might have with that, because it's like, and then he, again, like kind of contextualizing it in the in the context that it is a true story. A lot of it is, it makes a little bit more sense even to me, just how he said, and after that, we never spoke about it again.
Yeah.
I forget what he said was the last time they spoke about
Griffin,
it.
he said, all I know is my brother was a fine fisherman. That basically it. And he said, oh no, your brother was beautiful.
Yeah. And there's
line.
Brad Pitt's gorgeous ass seeping in and breaking the fourth wall again. It had to be addressed.
And I'm telling you, Griff, again, man,
it was beautiful.
I guess, I'm getting softer as I get older, but man, I've watched this probably 10 times, guys. And you've seen it more this now, one, sure. I love it, man. I just love, I guess, again, I've got a brother, I love my brother, of course. And it's that brotherly love that you have for each other. It's the friction of, God, why can't he do this? And why can't he be more like that? Yeah. And you want to please your father. You want to please your mother. And Norman was that guy. Paul was not. We all know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
he called it shadow casting. He did his own thing.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. And guys,
even as a little boy, Norman's speaking with him. He says, what about a preacher? Would you be a preacher? And the little baby Paul just starts laughing like, hell no, man.
And remember what Paul said. He said, he asked his brother, what do you want to do when you get older? And Norman said, I guess I wouldn't mind being a boxer. And Paul says, he goes, what do you want to be, Paul? He goes, I want to be a professional fly fisherman. And that just, I just love that. Cause as a little boy, he loved it. And I do want to make a comment, cause we're watching it right now, Griff, is, man, I love those damn fishing hats that these boys have. I want one so bad. I would have loved to have that. And remember, Austin, we're not even talking. This is Montana. If this doesn't excite you, this is all I thought about. 120% increase in fly fishing after this movie. So, hey, say what you want. I think this movie kicked ass.
The setting is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Dad, you and I, we've been in Montana. It's a fantastic,
if we could get this dude out there fishing,
place.
I'm telling you, he'd probably be like Brad Pitt and Paul, and this would be able to do it right off the bat, the asshole. He'd be great at it.
Austin, another great scene. One of my favorite scenes is actually when Norman calls Jesse's household.
Really?
That was fun.
I loved that scene because it was so funny to me. Because again, I kind of put myself back in his shoes back in that era. He's using like this bizarre phone, of course, where you literally have to hold the thing up to your ear. It was just crazy looking. And I thought it was really cute how his mom's on the phone and he comes down and he's waiting. She's like, oh, do you need to use it? And he's like, yeah. And of course, she's kind of hovering around. She wants to listen to what he's talking about. It reminded me actually of It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it reminded me of that so much in the funniest way.
Of course. Yeah.
But
good call.
I just love how the whole scene, it's one shot just of Norman calling, going through the process of, they had that director lady. He's like, yeah, put me through, and I just thought it was really sweet. You never hear anything that Jesse says. You don't hear anything from the other line. You just hear him speaking, and you hear him turn it around. Hey, I'm that guy who we talked about music. Yeah, I want to see you again. I just like, and he gets this huge, crazy, sheepish grin on his face.
I can listen to it.
Yeah. You just saw that grin on his face, and everyone knows that feeling of being nervous as hell, but somehow pulling it together and it pays off. And you're like, oh my gosh, and
I did
just those nerves and that excitement and like the guts it probably took for him to make the call. And just imagine, and I kind of romanticized like being back in that era. I was like, that's kind of beautiful and amazing in its own way. And I don't know, what I've been doing lately, guys, when I'm watching these movies is I say, what is my favorite scene? I'm kind of just waiting for it. And I think that was one that really struck me.
Yep.
And kind of just seeing how his and Jesse's relationship developed from there. I also kind of on that same foot, I loved when they were like in the woods or something, and he goes, hey, I got this job in Chicago as a professor, and I don't know, I don't want to leave you though. And kind
That's the
of,
moment.
yeah, her just, you're kind of waiting, like, how's she going to react? And then she just gives him a big hug, and she's all up on him, and it's like, oh, gosh, and
It's the
I don't know.
berries. I think it's the berries. Yeah.
It was
It
just
was
so
a cute
sweet to
scene.
me. And I'll tell you what, he delivered too. I forget, what did he say? He said it, but he said it like really serious, like, hey, I don't want to leave you. And
Yes.
Montana will be here.
yeah. What's he say, Austin? Do you know?
Well, he just says that. He's like, he says, I don't want to leave you,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Now,
It's like,
he
and
pulled off
the
that
look
line,
on her
though.
face, she sold it. She had that just adorable look like, God, he loves me.
Yeah,
And
but
he doesn't want to leave me.
He sold it too, though. He pulled off that moment. It was nice.
I think he was great in this movie.
I'll
Hit it
talk
awesome.
on something a little bit more about the courting element. They go to that bar where Paul and what's her name? Mabel start dancing. And he says himself, he's like, I'm not nearly as good as my brother, but, I'd like to dance. But after that, what's he do? He writes her a letter. So he's got his bag too. He's playing his cards. He's got his strengths and his qualities. And that brought me back to Dead Poets Society. It's like, why do we have language, or what is it?
Hey,
To woo women.
Another
women.
great scene. Another great scene with Norman and his father is when his dad's in his study reciting scripture, and Norman walks down and starts reciting it with him. I thought that was a great moment too.
I didn't dig that as much, to be honest.
Oh, I liked it because you got to think Norman's been away for so long, and it was kind of just this moment of connection between his father and himself that I thought was really cool.
Sure.
And you could tell that his dad was proud as hell of him. And kind of maybe my last thing, I loved when Norman's sitting at the dinner table with everybody, and he says, guys, I got offered a job to be a professor at the University of Chicago, and I'm going to take it. And you see his dad light up, and he goes, I'm pleased. I just thought it was so cool. And you see that look on Paul's face, and Paul's happy for him, but at the same time, again,
He doesn't want to lose his brother.
Yeah, he's wrestling with the fact that's not him, and he knows that, but he's supportive, and it just was another little commentary on their relationship, I think. But I've said a lot on my scenes.
Paul had already made a joke about like, oh yeah, you had to come back and get called into Dad's study, because when he first comes back, he's like, so you have this degree now. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Do you think that's your calling? He kind of pressed
You
him.
had 6 years to figure that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he was pushing him.
So that's kind of what it was there. My favorite scenes, as I mentioned, the intro, I think the outro is strong. My number one scene is when Paul breaks free from his father's instruction. So it's not the end, it's not the last scene, but it's the first time there was something I saw, and it's when he broke through from my father's instruction, because then what happens after that is there's that little small scene where, Norman gets out his fish. It's yay big.
Yeah.
Paul gets out his fish. Just a little bit bigger. And then Reverend comes on up. It's like, oh, we've done very fine. Lays out his big old fish. And my favorite quote of the movie, this is my favorite line.
It's really good.
The Lord has blessed us all today. And he starts walking away. It's just that he's been particularly good to me.
Yeah.
And starts snickering as he walks off. So that was great. And I'll wrap that right into my favorite character, Reverend. Reverend's my favorite character.
Reverend!
He was great, man. There's something about him. It's just, and even in the look, there was this coach that I had in high school for football. Coach Steve Fromeyer. You would have never thought him a football coach by the look. But he was just a really great stand-up guy. Could have been a reverend himself. You would have believed it. he had kind of this hay type hair, kind of bowl cut and a mustache. You would have never believed he was a football coach, but he was just an amazing guy and had a great impact.
Nice.
He was the kind of guy that was, leaving Facebook happy birthday posts to me years later. I don't think he still does it, but he did it for a little bit there, and that shows that he cares, and he was just a really stand-up guy. So I really liked Reverend. I thought he was great, and he was, the mold for what I think Norm became. I think Norm took to his father. Paul was his own kind of guy, but I think that relationship between Norm and his father is a really strong and powerful one. It is good. There's good parts. There's good parts.
Well, like you said, that kind of trinity of the two boys and their dad, I think it is something really special. And I mean, let's think about this, guys. This could be funny. I mean, we kind of have a similar dynamic going on, don't we? Think about it. Yep. Look at the three of us.
We're working it, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, except both of you are rebellious.
Yeah,
both of you have a rhythm of your own.
Yeah, Griffin said, I'm like, Paul, this is the guy that's been in a band and done all whatever we want to say, I'm not trying to crack his nuts.
No. It is funny, though. I would say I think my favorite character would be Norman. And I really do kind of relate to Norman in a lot of ways, I believe, because, he has his ways and he has his strengths. He's a goose in a lot of ways, and I relate to that on a few different levels. I feel like, again, it's and I'm not just hamming this up because we're on the camera, but Austin, I really do feel like the relationship that we have, like, you're very clearly Paul, whereas I would be Norman. And it doesn't matter. I'm older. Norman was older, but the leader of the group was Paul. And I would say that in a lot of ways that would be you, because you kind of, in a similar way, you're just the guy with the plan. You're the guy with the idea. You're the guy who has no concern for what else is happening. It's just like, no, this is the way it's going to be done. Whereas I'm a little bit more timid, and I think Norman had that quality too. And you see it a few different times, but, when they got together, they were rocking. And, a perfect example of that is when Paul says, hey, guys, let's go shoot down the river in the boat. Let's go be crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And, everyone, all their friends, they come with him, and he's like, all right, who's getting in?
Yep, let's mention Chubb there. Michael Kudlitz, who is in, The Walking Dead, major show, Band of Brothers, major show. Yes. So it was interesting seeing that guy. There's a few of those. There's three of them. You got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You got Chubb right there. And then you got Mrs. Burns, played by Edie McClurg, who's in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, as well as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But continue on your point. I just wanted to bring that up.
Well, all there is to it is everyone else chickens out. There's no way we're shooting down those rapids. That's crazy. I guess
it's just the Macleans.
Yeah, Paul looks at his brother, and Norman has that little hesitation, but...
Oh, he didn't do that. He didn't want to do it for shit.
Well, he didn't want to do it, but he also was milking the moment, and then he goes, hell yeah, I'll do it, and he gets up, and the two boys go off, and I could see us doing some crazy stuff like that, too. End of the day, they were right there, and Norman was going to do it, too. Norman was right on track, but, Paul was the one guiding the ship. It's just Norman was like, hell yeah, I'll do it with you. Yeah. So... that's my big commentary, but that's why I think Norman would be my favorite character.
Hell yeah.
Griffin, you stole a little bit of my thunder there, but well done. And the other thing, remember, when they get back and the father, Reverend, finds out that they blew this boat up, remember who took the hit. Again, I think out of the two of you, and I have to agree. I think I'm looking at Paul over here. Austin would have taken the hit and said it was my idea, and you would have been like
whose idea was it?
Yeah, I mean,
it was Paul's idea.
He did. Again, we see this in a lot of the Brad Pitt movies. The guy, man, he's the go-getter. But a couple of things that I want to point out. Norman's my guy. Okay. Norman's my guy. I love the clothes in this. I mean, just he had a bow tie on earlier. Just the suits, the hats. Austin, we talk about this. It seems like every single movie that we all pick has something to do with smoking for some reason.
Cigarettes, baby.
I don't, but good Lord. I mean, they're smoking the whole movie.
Of course.
I love the wardrobes. I think the girls in there, there's a name for those clothes the name for those little dresses that they wear. The lady, my wife would know.
What do they say she majored in? It's flapping. The flappers.
The flappers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what, and just how cute these ladies look in these dresses. Norman was my guy. Norman, I relate to that. And if you think about it, guys, all three of us, what do the three of us have in common? We're all the firstborn. So we are all, as we're talking, we're all the firstborn. That's why we bump heads a little bit when we do this show is we're all headstrong. We all want it a certain way. No, really? Yeah. But that's creative. Again, that's creative. I thought Norman, his character, he loved his family, but he just like our we were talking about him just a moment ago. They both wanted to get out. They did not want to be in their hometown.
Yeah.
They did not want to be in their hometown. He wanted to get out. He was bigger than that little, than
even that night that Paul says he's going to come back for dinner, he's got to skirt out early. He really didn't want to be back home, did he?
Yeah. And then when Norman gives him an out, and again, I go back to that line, it killed me because you knew bad things were going to happen.
I thought he was going to be dead a day earlier.
Well, you even see the look. You see that.
You see the look on Norman's face.
Yeah,
on Norman's face when he shows up almost at 7 a.m. Yeah, and I mean, talk about an amazing scene. Just that whole scene of the dad and the brothers getting back together for that last fishing trip. That
perfection.
Perfection. Well, Austin, is it time for our categories?
Well, we've already done our characters and scenes.
I'm talking about the categories that matter.
Well, let's do themes and things real quick.
Oh shoot, yeah.
We can just rattle them off.
I can run through mine real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
knock them,
guys. Of course, you've got to say religion,
spirituality,
spirituality. Okay, brotherly love. It's a complex bond that they have. Very complex. Traditional passed down, tradition passed down, the father showing the boys how, talking about religion, about scripture, then, hey, fly fishing. He's trying to teach them how to do it. The love of nature, the art of fly fishing, the loss of a loved one, to me. I thought I had one more down. Oh, I think that's it, Austin.
You got them.
Yeah, I think for me, it's family, and like you said, kind of old timey values. I think kind of like eras could be a theme because, like, I don't know, it really was kind of cool to go back in time and to see what life might have been like during that time period. I know it's a recreation of it, but I think you still get a basic idea.
Well, that's something about this movie. This is a era's drama that felt a whole lot like they wanted an Oscar. This movie was trying for it with the story, the scenery, the score, Robert Redford narrating. This is kind of the type of movie they were making then. There was a kind of like elegance.
Well,
there was
a
kind of elegance to this.
Guys, let me say this. In 1992, there was a movie called The Unforgiven. There was a movie called A Few Good Men. I mean, this wasn't,
Sin of a Woman.
There was some, this wasn't where you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for. I mean,
Batman Returns was the #1 movie of the year.
Yeah.
Home Alone 2 that came out.
But I mean, there were some great movies, guys.
Oh yeah.
again, I just to be a smart aleck, I looked up the 100 best movies ever, and I was hoping so bad to be able to stick this in your all's, snout and go, "Hey guys, it's the one," and it wasn't, and it just crushed me.
That's okay.
Because I was looking for something to be able to go, "You assholes don't know a good movie," but I get it. I get where I do think in a few years, as you all get a little older, you all I do think you're all gonna have there'll be a better appreciation for this movie.
Austin, that's a great thing. The main theme, relationships, and you said it great, Dad. You said the brothers have a very complex relationship. I think this movie really does center around the complexities of relationships, which I think is really cool. Maybe that's not super interesting in some ways. I think that's where Austin's getting maybe the pacing issue, or at least the issue of like what's the big thing happening.
Yeah,
but I think it's kind of a nuanced. I think it's a nuanced theme that like you can really get kind of sparked by if that's something you're interested in.
I get it. I do get it. I'm not like I can have a character study. It just wasn't my favorite. That's it.
I get it.
Yeah,
that's it.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
You know what also
what
came out this year?
Austin?
We got to mention this with our boy Mike Myers. You know what also came out this year?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's
World.
Oh, wow.
Party on.
You know what also happened this year? The Cold War officially ended, and those capitalist pigs will finally pay for their crimes.
Austin, we won.
Yay, capitalism. Okay, my favorite theme. Mike hit them all. He really did. I'm going to go with fly fishing, as you mentioned.
Oh, nice.
I just...
And that couples in with the scenery. Mountains, Gandalf.
Spirit of the Wild. How about that?
I also have Searching for Inner Peace.
I love that.
Nice. Good call, Austin.
I wish I'd have come up with that.
Yeah.
Give me a brief moment, Austin, on what you enjoyed about the fly fishing element.
Well, for one thing, I wanted to do it. Man. And you're just out there. And all of us, I think, are searching for that peace and that tranquility. And maybe you just never truly find it. But there are things that bring you as close as you're ever going to get. And I think fly fishing, just being out there, and they're not fishing with bait. They make a point to say, "Oh, that's not really fishing when you're fishing with bait." They're out there really playing the game.
You're putting
man.
different flies.
It's just being one with nature. It's being connected and feeling like you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Well, I even thought it was cool how Paul at points, he asked Norm, he said, "What are they biting on?" And like you said, he changes his little, what is it called? The bobber?
I guess
it's a fly.
Yeah, you changed the fly.
He went with a bunion.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was cool how he said, if my dad could have it his way, he would never allow for the disgrace of a man catching a fish who didn't know how to catch him by fly fishing.
That's
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was
and
cool.
What do you guys think about the shade that they throw on bait fishermen? I thought that was kind of this kind of niche little hilarious thing. He's going to show up with a
coffee can full of worms.
Yeah, and what do you call it? In a Folgers?
It wasn't Folgers, but it was whatever the
like
red
a Maxwell
can was.
House or
whatever the hell the bean was then. Coffee. How about that?
Yeah,
we're coffee and wine, fellas. Very good.
Coffee and wine.
So big questions.
Let's do it.
Big questions. Is this movie better with Nick Cage?
Here's my take. If Nick Cage is in this movie, you'll appreciate this, Dad. You know what Nick Cage it is? It is Family Man Nick Cage. That's who, if Nick Cage is in this, it's kind of a similar deal to who he pulls off in The Family Man, I think. But I don't know what it is, guys. Maybe I'm losing the scent, but like this is another one where I'm kind of like, man, I don't know if you need Nick Cage in this movie. Like, I think that the guys pulled it off pretty dang well as it was. Nick Cage is not Paul. I don't think he pulls that one off. I don't think he needs to be Norman. I don't know if Nick Cage is necessary to this one.
Griffin, you're right on. I was thinking about Nick Cage would have been around. I mean, he and Brad Pitt are almost the same age. I think they're right at.
We can pick any era of Nick Cage for this, too.
Yeah. Yes, of course. But, Nick Cage would have been around 28. He'd been about Brad Pitt's age in this movie. I'm going to say it, and this kills me, and you all know I love him, but I don't see, unless he's one of the friends of Norman and Paul's, where he could have been one of the friends. But I just think this thing was cast very well, and I don't think Nick Cage would have done a better job than Craig and or Brad Pitt. I don't think so.
I got Nick Cage in this movie, guys.
Oh my God! I can't wait.
I got you guys again. Maybe you're just not thinking outside the box. But
obviously we're not.
You know who Nick Cage is in this movie?
Here we go, Griffin.
Nick Cage is Neil Burns.
Well done.
Nick Cage is Neil Burns. He shows up in an ascot looking like a tennis player. And then we see him with rawhide with his ass out.
Oh, Austin. Well done.
Nick Cage is Neil Burns.
He would have pulled off the perfect asshole, man. Oh,
he would have tore that scene
Nick
up.
Cage is Neil Burns.
I don't know the character that Neil. I don't know that particular actor. He did a fine job. He was a jerk in it.
He did well.
He did really well.
What did Norman say? He said he's a bona fide. He didn't say. He said something. He's a grade A.
He's like a world.
He's a Peckerwood.
He's a world champion Peckerwood.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
World champion Peckerwood.
Yeah. No, I do not like your brother.
God,
but I like you.
But that
might be the best moment with them.
And they had that sun. That was a great scene.
That was a great scene.
And you got the sun. The sun's dropping, and you got Jessie, and she's really the little blonde hair, and she's driving the car, and she goes, "You don't like my brother, do you?" And he goes, "No, I do not, but I like you."
Norman's not funny.
And Brad Pitt, being Brad Pitt, he's so damn cool. He says, it was all my fault. He takes all the blame. Are you mad at Norman? Norman's not funny. and just the way Brad Pitt looks, I'm like, what the hell? I didn't expect that. It was really a cute scene.
Well, final one, fellas. Is this movie a coffee or wine movie?
What about Six Man?
Well, you can say, just pop it out. Mine's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Guys,
like
mine is Robert Redford.
Okay.
Oh,
mine is Robert Redford. And I want to say this. I love Jessie in this movie. Sure. I loved her.
We probably haven't talked about her enough, but she does do well. I kind of thought the Burns family was pretty funny when they go into that scene. They were in the father. The father made me laugh. He was funny. Some people say I look like what's the actor what's his name says he's friends with? And she's like, I don't know. That guy they were just goofy because half of them were senile.
Remember that.
And
then the boy trying to do, with the straw out of his nose.
Well, it was nice to see Norman having to enter. Norman was basically eating shit so that he could court Jessie.
Sure.
And it was hilarious because it's like, I've been really lucky. Like a lot of the parents that I've met in relationships have been really cool. But like, you could just feel where he was coming from. It's like, he's just doing it to do it. And you just feel that energy. It's kind of hilarious.
But that's the nightmare side of it. That's what you're worried about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what was that? Help me, guys. What was it that he said? They were talking about the religion that Jesse's family, did he say Methodist?
They were Mormons, right?
Oh, I thought they were Methodist.
I don't think so.
I thought they were Methodist or something.
Maybe that's what it was.
But he says
he says they're Mormons. My dad says they're basically Methodists who can't read or can read or something.
But Methodists that can read.
But I think they're Mormons.
Okay. I thought that was cute, that his dad had some great quotes. And the boys, they always remembered him so. But that was Robert Redford, definitely my sixth man. Go ahead, Austin. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
All right. Austin, this movie is a coffee movie. I got coffee right here with me. Kind of had a long day, so I got some of the last of it. Hey, man, I got some of the last of it from the good old coffee machine at Link Belt, and I brought it home and I poured it into this mug for this occasion because, you know, a lot of this movie is actually in the early morning. They're waking up really early to get out and to fish. You're seeing some of the breakfast foods they got going. You know, I think that this, in a lot of ways, it is a feel good isn't correct, but in a lot of ways, this is a start your day, warm up, you know, huddle up on a couch or something and relax and watch this movie and have a good old time sipping some coffee. So that's my take for sure.
I think he nailed it. I think a nice cup of coffee. I can watch this early in the morning. This is a good one. This is, to me, I love that era. Again, I love the characters. Easily, it's a coffee movie for me. Come on, Austin. I know he's going to say it's a wine one.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's...
Hey, what's his name? Oh, Isaac over here. We'll bring back an old joke.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. This one is... There is no world where this is a wine movie. This is entirely this is a coffee movie. Matter of fact, this is an espresso movie. Give me something a little stronger to keep my ass awake because it's like the Golf Network, baby. Let me go to sleep. It's a great movie to take a nap to, but I'm just being an asshole. It's definitely a coffee movie. No if ands, or buts about it. There's not even a question. Keep it short and brief. But that's it, fellas, man. That was a hell of an episode.
That was awesome. Austin, did you expect anything else?
Austin, this is what we do now.
Yeah.
Guys.
Mike, that's
you in particular, Dad.
That's an example.
Full-time job.
That's an example of how you show up when you don't really like a movie.
Oh.
Hey, let's butt some heads, baby.
Hey, again.
The firstborns.
Again, my thing is I think we try movies, whether we like them or not.
I didn't dislike
There was things, again, guys,
of the road.
All jokes aside, when we did the Wes Anderson movie. I mean, you know, Austin and I said...
I didn't know what that was going to be.
There were things in that movie that I looked at Austin, I'm like, this could be really... I'm enjoying this. There were some parts. But, you know, it just wasn't, as we like to say, it wasn't my bag. But I think that's how you evolve. You've got to try new movies.
The Nice Guys is the one that surprised me more.
Austin,
I thought you were going to like that one
Austin, more. When my dad was just speaking, that is where you splice in some footage from the Nice Guy episode where my dad's going, why the hell did we watch this movie?
Tell me why you like this movie.
That's great. That's great.
Hey, boys. Well, I'll tell you this, Austin. I'm honored to be here as always. Dad, I'm proud as hell of you, man. I love you. I think it's incredible that you're retired, man. It's just wonderful. I kind of had a moment riding home from work today, and I went, damn, my dad really did it, man. He made it. So I'm proud of you, man.
It's been a long time coming, guys. You know, I was only there for 20 years, but I've been doing what I've been doing for 30, 35 years. It's a long time, you know, and
it's a long life, my friend.
It's a long life, my friend. And you know what? Save your money, you know, invest. Good Lord, be smart. And you guys,
Dad,
thank God you guys are smart.
Dad, a bit of advice for the young guns just starting in their careers.
Start out 10% in a Roth IRA. There you go. That would be the best that I would say. But I will tell you this. You will never get rich with a with a salary paying job. You've got to get out. You've got to get into sales, and you've got to figure your niche. You've got to figure out your own bag, baby. You've got to start your own company.
I thought he was going to say start a podcast.
He just said start your own company. I think we're on track.
Guys, let's
Purple
face it.
Media Co. You can't read it, but it's on me.
We are loving this. This is so much fun. Again, I've had it, guys, this is the truth. I had a couple of guys stop me today and go, hey, we've been listening, and Austin and Griffin are kicking ass. You know, hey, you need to start stepping your game up there, Fletcher, because these guys are kicking ass, and you all are. Guys, we're doing some good thing. I know you guys are getting on, and you're starting to put some little, what do you call them? Help me here. What's the terminology? Reels. You all have got reels out there, and man, you know, I'm getting a lot of feedback from friends that these reels are very creative, and they like them. One of the suggestion is we need to shorten these to about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Where are we at today?
Good luck, partner. We're at an hour and 11. But we kicked ass, man. We had a great time. Hey, guys,
I
if it's
you
too
giving
long
us
for
a
you,
chance.
break it up, chop it into pieces. That doesn't gonna hurt our feelings, you know. You're gonna work out 2 times a week at least, right? So you go in, maybe get 45 minutes of it, then take a break, and then come back. Listen to the last bit of it.
Speaking of, let's hear your final remarks, Os.
My final remarks.
Wrap it up for us, bud.
Man, I love doing this. I really love doing this. And what I really love is that we're starting to really make a point about getting back in the theaters, because that is a magical, as you mentioned on the last episode, Griffin, that is a communal experience.
I'm going to the theaters after this, boys. Naked Gun.
Attaboy. And we're going to see a little reel of that too. We're going to hear what you got to say about it. And he better eat some goddamn popcorn. What do you think?
Griffin, eat some popcorn. Quit being a jerk. Come on. Get some popcorn down your neck.
Jackass. But we're getting back in the theater. We're trying to give you as much value as we possibly can. We really do enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys are enjoying it back at home. So if you are, send it out.
What movie we seeing next? Who's up?
It's going to be Griffin next. I don't think we quite know yet.
Guys, I'm sorry. I do not have it right now.
There's nothing prepped. We're actually figuring out how to shoot the episode next, because we're all going to be remote, but we're going to figure it out. And you know why? Because you at home inspire us to be better. And we're going to continue to do that. You are our number one priority. Don't you forget it.
Please give us suggestions. We would love it. If there's one you want us to see, believe me, please pick one that I'm going to love, so then I can tear these guys up. We'd love it.
Please keep telling us how much you love us.
Please.
But all right, guys. If you're listening, whenever you're listening, thank you for listening. You rock. We appreciate it always. We'll be seeing you again soon, of course. Until then, keep it real, do your best, and we'll be seeing you soon. Alrighty now. Bye-bye.